Hello and welcome to the Tarkis zone. Today we're going to talk about filtration or biofilters. And as you can see, I've got a basic one running here. I'm going to explain to you how or what the science is on how this works. And it's really not much science, it's more just gravity and how Mother Nature has kind of allowed water to be filtered. Now here, as you can see, this barrel is pouring out quite a bit of water. And what I have done is I've got a lower pond. I don't think you can see it from here. But from there, I got a little energy efficient pump. It just goes to a garden hose. Most pumps that you see at a hardware store would work, you know, as long as the garden hose could connect to it. But I wanted to try to save on some energy costs. So this one's really energy efficient. That's why the water's not just spewing out of here with a lot of volume. If you get a high volume water pump, it's going to cost you a little more, spend a little bit more energy. But the principles of this are really simple. Is the water goes, I've got that hose going all the way to the bottom of this barrel. So it's letting the water out at the bottom of this barrel. And what happens is any sediment, any debris, anything that the pump in principle is pulling into its intake and sending up here should end up staying in this barrel, because gravity is going to grab it and want to pull it down. And the trickle is so slow that the water currents that are happening within this barrel are not enough to bring the debris back to the top. So as the water, cleaner water, we're not saying it's taking everything out, by far no. This is not drinkable water. I don't even think I'd drink it if I boiled it. But this is my way of trying to give my livestock cleaner water for them without having to move garden hoses around or provide buckets of water. This was my solution. So as you can see, it goes in this upper pond, and Mother Nature has started doing its thing. It's got some algae in here, and you can see even in this pond the water's quite clean, or this top portion of this pond. And then I've got it going down into this lower one where you can see the current is not so much. This gives whatever other particles more time to fall in and get trapped into this location. And then the next one here, I put a little bit of gravel in here to help even more with the filtration as the water flows into these areas. And then it comes down here and eventually ends up. Now this is not, like I said, by far not the cleanest water on earth, but it's clean. It's, you know, if you can see through it, it's quite clean. And what that does is it goes into my upper pond here where my livestock live. Now the reason why this pond looks kind of murky is because the ducks have been working the edges, so they just keep on putting more dirt into here. So it's almost like, you know, the logic of trying to make it as clean as possible, the ducks really like to kind of muck it up. But I try to do my best to provide what I can for them, for the source water. More or less, that's how that biofilter works. I've got another one down here, and we're going to walk down here slowly so I can show you. As another project that I'm working on, I can show you how this one is working. This one's similar to the one we just left. As you can see, look how clean that water is. And here, this doesn't even have a barrel. I'm just pumping it from the pond directly into this area. Goes into there where more sediment is falling, because there was no dirt or anything. When I put this lining in, it was a clean lining. As you can see, this is doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's catching the dirt, the grime, anything that is not pure. It's basically trying to trap into these pools. And then it makes its way back into my pond. So this is just my way of helping Mother Nature just clean the water that's in my pond. As you can see, cattails, those are Mother Nature's #1 cleaning tool for any water source. I would advise anyone who has water around them, like a good pond, leave those be, because these plants will clean your water better than anything you could imagine. And it also will help with water management. They suck up a lot of water while they're growing. So that's why my pond's a little low. We haven't had much rain, and those cattails are like just scooping it up, which is fine because they're also purifying the water. That, you know, Mother Nature doesn't make mistakes. It has ways to actually clean your water just naturally. And a little off topic from the biofilter, but here it is again. And as you can see down there, that's where I'm pumping the water out of. I tried to put my intake as close to the cattails as possible for the reasons that I just talk about. You know, the pump's in its own open area, as you can see. So there's not a lot of cattails around it, but on its source intake, there's a lot of cattails. So let's really clean the water. And I think that's what's causing this to show as clean as it's showing. So there it is. That's your biofilter and how it works. Now, if we went back to the bill, you can put sand or any fiber material that is not going to harm the environment in this barrel. Most people I talk to that run a biofilter like this, they use sand. They put sand in it, and then they make sure that their intake is at the bottom of the barrel, so that when the water comes up through the sand is filtering. I've heard all sorts of things that people put in these barrels to help. Just make sure it's animal safe, it's environmentally safe. Don't go jamming briquettes in the thing thinking that the charcoal briquettes were going to filter your water. No, no, no. You need activated charcoal. So don't go down to your barbecue store and start filling your barrel full of barbecue charcoal, because you're going to have some major issues if you do that. There you go again. Thank you for watching. This has been the Tarkis Zone.